let's go ahead and so 16 by 20 canvas, underpainted with burnt umber and the Brunei school of underpainting. This just really means it was painted in burnt umber. Usually when I do these, I do them in two parts. I do the sky in the foreground, and then I do the main object, which is the bulb. Today, maybe I'll be able to do it all. I don't know. We'll see. We'll do what we can. On the video, it may always be one part just because I added it together, but it depends how long it takes to get it done. And it's going to take, how long is it going to take? It's going to take as long as it takes. Got a little bit of a refresh on my paper towels, so we should be good there. Got a refresh on my baby wipes, so that should be good as well. All right. Take the same paper towel, making sure we don't get the thinner up there. I'm gonna wipe some of this clear back. You can never really wipe it all off. And that's good, because you really wouldn't want to. So as you can see though, we did get some off. Alright, we'll chuck that for now. Let's see what we want to do with this as far as the sky. Alright. So I want to try some of this. This is Cad Yellow Pale Hue, made by Georgian Oils. I haven't used this much, so I'm gonna give it a spin. We'll see how that. We'll try some of that. Put that up there. We will also try a little bit of bright red, maybe just a little bit of bright red. So let's put some of that on the palette. Not much. Put some alizarin crimson on the palette. So if you're painting along, gives you plenty of time to get your paint out. We're not putting very much of any of that. Oh, forgot my little plastic doodad here. There we go. This keeps the threads clean, plus it keeps the oil in. And I think I would like some what do I want to use? Looking for a blue that I would like to use. I'm kind of thinking along here. I have some phthalo blue. That's Prussian blue. This is phthalo blue. Maybe phthalo blue will work. We may put this on and decide we want to do something different than phthalo, but we'll start off with that. I don't have a piece of plastic to put on that, but by golly, when I get done, I'll put some on there. I'll put that on there. Alright, that's enough to get us started. We'll also be using some landscape colors, some other landscape colors, but for now, yeah, that'll work. So let me find, let's start off with a filbert. I'm going to set that one aside for restoration. I don't like the feel of that brush. Feels like it's a little too stiff, like it's still got some cleaner in it. This one also feels that way. but this one doesn't. So we'll use this one. All right, let's start off with a little bit of this cat yellow on a filbert. And we'll kind of now, we're not trying to cover all of that brown, that beautiful burnt umber. We don't want to cover all that up. I mean, we went to a lot of trouble to put it on there, so we don't want to cover it up. Just want to let it shine through. So we're just going to kind of lightly glaze this color on. Not too concerned about getting it on the edge of the boat or anything like that, or in the landscape up there, because it's, you know, first of all, it's kind of glazed, so it's not, you know, it's not over. Ooh, a little too much there, too much of that. That's okay. We can always just wipe it back with a Q-tip, just like we did the underpainting. So if you watched the underpainting video prior to this, you can go back and catch that, or you can just wait for a couple of minutes and you'll probably see me use it here. Now, if you're wondering if I'm switching back and forth with my hands, excuse me, I am switching back and forth. I'm fairly ambidextrous. I had a stroke when I was 22, so I had to learn how to do a lot of things with my opposing right hand because I was left-handed. There's a little bit of something on the canvas right here. Let's see if we can get that. Oh, it just looks like a piece of plaster. That's okay. That's okay. We can just paint over that. Just kind of smoothing that glaze out. All right, now we're going to add some, above that, we're going to add some yellow and some red together. And we're going to start kind of adding. And I think I'll kind of stick a little bit to the contour that I've already put down with this. Oh, didn't get a good mixture on that. That's okay, though, it won't matter. It won't matter. It won't matter in a minute. It matters right now, but it ain't gonna matter in a minute. Now, you can do this with any brush that you want. I'm using a filbert, of course, but you know, you can use a 1-inch brush, maybe. If you're looking like, if you want to be like Bob Ross and do things in like in 30 minutes, 1-inch brush will probably work just fine. But I'm not criticizing about that. I'm not. I'm just. I enjoy painting, so I'm not in a hurry to get done. So, but you might be. So, and that's okay. Now we're just going to kind of smear some of this color into the middle here. I want a little bit of mixture here. Some kind of mid-sky. A little bit of stuff. A little bit. All right, let's bring some phthalo into this. Again, we're going to mix this into the same puddle. It's going to start to be darker though. So. Now we're going to blend all this when we get done, so don't worry about it kind of being a little streaky at the moment. It don't matter. It don't matter. I think, you know what, let's bring a little more orangey into this. Let's raise this orange layer up a little bit. There we go. I like that. That's good. All right, let's carry on. Oh, a little more yellow thrown in here. We'll probably add some titanium white in here too. We'll see. We'll find out. I don't know. I don't care, actually. All right, let's get some phthalo blue. Into these corners. Start into these corners. This is a really, really powerful color. So when we start to blend this, we're going to be real careful with it. I want to pull it down into that nice other blending color. All right. And then, you know, we'll use some of that down in here. So we'll just go ahead and kind of start putting some in there. We'll add some more to that later. I'm just using the paint off of the brush. It's got a little bit of a green tint to it, and that's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's all right. All right, let's clean the brush, and then we'll start. We'll go back to that. I want to go back to this yellow and crimson. See, I'm not going to quite touch that right there. I don't want to touch that yet. Get right up close to it, though. So we'll blend back into it in a minute. But for now, we don't want to get up in there. Because if we do, we'll drag all that blue down into this. The chances are, a little bit of yellow sitting there, it's going to turn green. And although there is some green in the sky, at least where I live there is. You know, that may not be the best thing for what I want to do. All right, we're not done with this. We're just gonna take some of this same color. I need some more yellow. So let's get some more yellow over here on the palette. I'm going to put it in the same spot, although I'm going to be careful not to contaminate what I've already got down there. Why am I missing a tube of paint? Oh, you know what? I know what it is. Here we go. I bought this new tube of Indian yellow, and I never did hang it up. Okay, now we're ready to go. All right, now let's start down here under this landscape. We're going to kind of work this forward. We're going to figure out like where the brightest part's going to be and all that stuff in a minute too. So. I do my drink. Allergy season's rough on me. For those of you that watch my channel, thank you. Thank you for watching it. I guess when you guys get tired of watching it, I'll quit doing it. But as long as people are enjoying it, I'll just keep on doing it. I'm going to be painting anyway, so why not share, right? As long as people want to see it. Okay, there we go. Let's put a bit of that on this side. Of course, we got landscaping here too, right? So, and I'm going to add a touch of this red with this yellow. A little too much yellow in there, but that's okay. Think about, here we go. It's breaking it down. Here we go. Add away. Add a girl. Add away. All right. Now we're going to add some motion in this water a little later in this painting. A little more waves, maybe a few waves in there. Now this side over here is kind of starting to sit in shadow, right? So we're gonna start darkening this water up. just a little bit. We're darkening it up with a bright red, but I'm going to add some yellow into that too. Just kind of liven it up a little bit. Now we'll pull some of that color as we go, but we're not going to worry too much about it just yet. Right now we're just getting the paint down. We're going to go back and blend all of this stuff. Maybe. I don't know. I kind of like that streaky look. That's not my usual style, but I kind of like it. So we'll see. We'll see. I think what we'll do, we'll bring this crimson in like right here. I'm going to start kind of fading it back out in a minute into, more of that orangey color. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just leave it like it is. Let's add a little bit of yellow there. Like I say, we don't want to cover up all the underpainting. It's not the purpose of doing the underpainting. So all right, maybe a little bit more dark in this corner. Maybe a little bit in this corner too. All right. Oh, I missed a pot. I missed all that up there. Gosh darn it. Sorry if I clean my brush too. All right. How did I miss all that? Yeah, it's okay. Ain't no big deal. Ain't no big deal. All right. Okay, let's blend some of this now. Now, I have a choice of blenders. I could use a fan brush to blend it, or I could use a 1-inch brush. I could even use a 2-inch brush. Although that's a little bit too much for me sometimes. 2-inch. I have quite a few 2-inch brushes, and I almost never use them. In this case, let me see what 1-inch brushes I have that are clean. This one's okay. This one's kind of okay. I think I'll use this one. Or do I want to use a fan brush? Let's decide that. Let's decide that right now. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good fan brush. I'll tell you what, let me hang on to that one for a second and let me check this shorty. Ooh, I don't know. I kind of like that. I'm going to go with a 1-inch brush. And it all comes down to it. I guess that's what I wanted to use. Alright, so we're going to start at the horizon and work our way up. Now we're just kind of... I don't want to remove all of that streakiness. I just want to smooth it. So I'm just going to kind of... Because I want to keep that movement in the sky, right? And I'm going to be careful up here around this 2-inch, because once I'm into that blue, because I don't want to get into that just yet. I'm going to get into it, but not yet. And when I do get into it, it's going to be... All right, now, so that I don't have to clean my brush, because I am picking up paint, as you can see. But I'm just going to take a little bit of that there, and I'm going to smooth this out some. We're going to come back and add some more paint to this momentarily, but I just want to cover all of this red and scarlet. It's not scarlet. Crimson and yellow. I want to kind of cover all of that, blend it all before I start into that blue. come up here, and I'm going to use a circle motion, cut into this blue. And I'm going to pull that out from the corner up across the middle without going quite to the front. I just want to create a little bit of a vignette. So I'm just going to kind of hustle this paint up, kind of make it unobvious exactly where those paints merge and where they don't. And I'm just going to drag a little bit of that color all the way across now, just a little bit. I don't want much. Don't want much. Okay, that's good. All right, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so like I said, we're not done with that sky. I'm going to need, for my next step, for my next feat, we will use some titanium white, and I'm going to use this is a really thick Grumbacher pretest paint. I use it on mountains a lot, but this tube, as you can see, is almost empty. So I want to get some of this paint out of here, if I can, and use it. So it's a little thick for this underpainting paint, because I'm actually going to mix it some with this yellow. So I'm going to wait and see how the yellow mixes up with it, and then decide if I want to add some medium to it. I'm just kind of standing back and look at this. I kind of like the way this is coming together. Okay, let's see. What did I do with that brush? Guess I did nothing with it. All right, so let's get, we'll stick to this medium hue, or pale hue, I guess it is, with some white. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. All right, that's kind of bright. And I want to start, oh, that's pretty bright. I want some very subtle little clouds up in here. All right, that's pretty bright. So I'm going to add a little bit more yellow to this. Try that. There we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit of red to that. And kind of add some pinkish clouds here as well. One more time. All right. And then I'm going to add some little couple of darker areas up in here, I think. Let's put a little bit more dark. All right. Okay. That'll work. That'll do. Get the brush clean. Now we did get a little bit of this down in the water, so we're going to move a little bit of that around in a minute, maybe. Let's see if I can just push it with a brush. Yeah. It's on the landscape, and I'm just going to, and a boat. There's a boat right there. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to this. I think it's a little too bright. And this, now I'm just kind of moving it into the water where I want it. There we go. All right, that looks pretty good. All right. Start working on the boat. Would have been nice if I had decided on a color for the boat, but I hadn't. So the reference photo is in black and white. So let's see, what do we want to do with that? Let's take a little bit of alizarin crimson. I'll tell you what, let's start off with alizarin crimson. Let's just start off with alizarin. Let's start off with alizarin crimson. Start working on this part of the boat first. Now, absolutely do not want to cover up the underpainting. All of that dark is important to the boat. So I'm not trying to paint over it. Well, I am trying to paint over it, but I'm glazing over it with a thin, transparent color. It has I said a thin. It's thin, only that I'm applying it thin. It's not thinned, as in added added medium to it. I started to say merchandise. What the heck? It's probably a good day to paint and a bad day to talk. I don't want that to be too smooth because that's pretty raggedy, that board, that wood. So, okay, now we're going to mix a mid-tone, I think. Let's mix some alizarin crimson. I'll tell you what, let's don't mix that on the brush. Well, maybe we should, because the boat's going to be kind of patchy looking. So we're going to add some alizarin crimson to some bright red, and we're going to try this color. It's a little too close to the same color. Let's mix it. Oh gosh, I got a great big bunch of that time. All right, let's try this. No, that's still not what I want. So let's add some yellow to that. We'll mix it up really good on the brush. Let's try this as we move up. That's a nice lighter color. That's nice. So we'll come back and we've got a nice central line for where the midtones go and where the lighter tones go. So let's go ahead and get this lighter tone. Let's just kind of add it in here for the moment. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's going on pretty good. I would have liked to have had that part be white, but white is not transparent enough really to do what I wanted to do up there. I don't think it would have. Maybe I'll try that on a smaller painting and see if I like it, but we'll come back and do all this other detail. Actually, what we'll probably do is let that dry, and then we'll come back and do the detail. All right. A little more alizarin crimson into this mix to darken it just a bit. And I painted right over that big highlighted line. And I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. And I will. Like I say, we don't want to get too carried away. Now the inside of the boat's going to be kind of a different color, but that's okay. All right. Let's use that brighter color up here. And then this crimson. And back to the lighter color to paint along this rope. Now we're just going to kind of fill this in, where this rope is, kind of, more or less. Not completely, but more or less. And then as we paint the rope, we'll let that dry, and then we'll let the paint, we'll just paint over that with the lighter stuff. All right, now this light color. Let's see how this goes. That'll probably be okay, I think. Okay. Back to the dark. Now we're not cleaning the brush, we're just continuing to add color to the brush. Working with bright red, alizarin crimson, some yellow, that mid-tone yellow. Back to the alizarin crimson on these inside strips. Probably shouldn't have painted over those, but that's okay. All right, now let's take a little bit of alizarin crimson and a little bit of blue. And let's do this darker part. Just right in here. And right along in here. And right along in there. Okay. Let's clean the brush now because we have polluted it with this blue. Yeah, nah, I don't like that. Nah. So, you got a painting. It's got some stuff on it. Some color you don't want. You're like, oh, let's try this and it sucked. Okay, maybe it didn't suck, but maybe you just don't want it. That's okay. Oil paint is very forgiving. Q-tips. Let's give it a little twist as we pull it, and just wipe the paint right back off. Can also straighten up any other little things you got. All right. So let's stick to this reddish color thing we got going on here. There's no reason it can't be that way. It just needs to be lighter. So let's just kind of start putting it in. We got some dark up there, so we'll leave that sit for right now. We'll come back and get that in a second. So if you've done your work, if you've done your underpainting work diligently, this part is rote, really. You've already done all the values and shadows and all that good stuff, so you don't have to figure all that out. just smoothing these lines. I don't want there to be any, I just want there to be a few, I do want there to be a few brush strokes in here because, but not a lot. All right, now we got a little bit of paint over into the water. So we're gonna just kind of erase that. And it'll look just fine, just like it is. Just blend that right back in. Let's go a little bit more crimson, and we'll kind of paint this stuff in back here. I'm not going to get too carried away with that. I'm going to darken that. I want it to be a little bit darker than that, especially in this corner. And then let's put some of this brighter color. Then I might have to use a smaller brush to do this. We're going to see. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. My bestest buddy is out swimming today, so she's not on here to keep me company. I hate that. I don't hate it. I'm glad she's swimming. I wish I was swimming, but I like painting, so painting's good too. All right, let's come back with a little bit more of this brighter color on this rail. And then we're just lifting up with the brush as we're bringing it toward the end so that it gets narrower. All right. Okay, let's put this highlight in. And we're going to do that, and then I'm going to paint all the details because we're going to save the details in the second part of the video. So, but let's do some of the detail. I tell you what, rather than get too carried away with that, let's go ahead and work this shadow. I saw a video today for a boat. It's a beautiful boat. 75 million bucks. I never had one of those. Never had one of those boats. I never had a family member that had one of those boats either. So I didn't have any rich relatives. And if you do, that's cool. I'm glad you do. I think we're going to kind of stick with this yellow and red, crimson. I keep wanting to say red, crimson scheme. So let's take. I'm going to put this highlight back in. I think I'll put this highlight back in on the next edit. Once this is dry, I may have to put these portholes in then too, because I don't think they're going to want to hold paint very much at the moment. But we'll see. We'll see. I have more fascination with this boat than I do with like the tall sail ship that I did. It was okay. I wanted to do one, so but I don't know. I feel like these kind of boats, they're more personal to me. So, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it does or not. But they do. So there you go. And we're gonna, there's a table in this picture. So we're just kind of showing that there. And we're still sticking with this phthalo blue into these porthole with a shadow. And I think I'm gonna try to run a bead of this. I don't really need to, but I'm gonna run some of this down this way. I'm just running that extra shadow. A little extra shadow, a little extra shadow. The more contrast you can create in a painting, the better off you're going to be. So let's kind of just bring this on back. Now, I have found moving my arm instead of my hand gives me a much straighter line. So, although I'm sure some of you have a much steadier hand than I do. So you do it however it works best for you, but that's just how it works best for me. All right. Said I wasn't going to put the details in, but here we are. I'm not going to put a lot of detail, just pretty happy with this coming along. I think we'll do that a little bit with these guys back here too. We're going to leave the highlight till later, but we'll go ahead and put this in. These are the tie downs. All right, enough of that for now. Okay, now I want to go ahead and put some landscape in, so let's do that. And for that, we'll use a little bit, just a touch of sap green. Well, you know what? I may have enough yellow here to mix this phthalo blue with this yellow. Now, if you do this, tiniest little bit of phthalo blue, it's super powerful, super powerful. It might be a little too green. We'll see in a minute. I put just a touch of phthalo green in there. Oh, no, I mean phthalo blue. Okay, so let's go back to a fan brush. This is the color that it yielded, and this is often the distance this work. So it may need to be darker than that, even with the glaze. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. But this over here closer is going to have to be darker. I think it'll be okay for that back part. Actually, I think it's kind of nice back there. So okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, we're gonna come up close with this other green. So So let's see what we got here. That's phthalo green. Let's take some sap green. This is Gambling 1980. I just started using this green lately. So the jury's still out. I've liked gambling paint. I don't have a lot of 1980, but hopefully this will be good because that's what they carry where I shop. So it would be nice if it worked out really good for me. All right, let's clean up the shoreline there. All right, let's pick up this darker green. Oh, got a post right there. Okay, well, we'll have to put that post in before we can finish the grass up there. But just using a tap with this brush. It's this filbert brush. My brain just went blank. Although I'm pretty sure that most people would argue it's blank most of the time. All right, we're just going to put that in. We'll put the highlight in over the top of the post. So we'll do that second, or last, or whatever the heck. Whatever number we're on, that's what we'll do. And we're trying to build up a little bit of texture here. Okay, we're going to put some waterline right in along that way. Okay. Clean the brush again, just to get that darker color out. I need to put that post in, so let me get something for that. How about, I'll tell you what, let's do a little bit of Van Dyke Brown. We haven't used any of that in a while. Let's use some Van Dyke Brown. Why not? Because we're going to use some browns on the rope. Maybe we might use yellow ochre. We'll see. But anyway, it's going to be one of those. So we're going to start off with this Van Dyke Brown, and I'm going to move this over just a little bit because I want to do this left-handed. So you guys excuse me. So we've got the lake on both sides of this post. So we're just going to paint this color into the post. Like that. Then we're going to add just a tad of white and put a little bit of highlight on it, just like this. Then we'll clean this brush off, and then we're going to kind of mute that white. There we go. That's good. That's real good. All right, now we can come back and put the highlight colors on for that. I'm not so sure I like these. I might paint those portholes gray. I don't know if I like that yellow like that. We'll see. Since we got another round of colors coming up. Okay. So I'm just going to scoop up this yellow. We're going to start with it. See how it does. We got quite a bit of paint. Let me move this back on this grass now, but that's okay. I think this will work just fine. If it doesn't, we'll add a little bit of paint thinner to it. And it may require that. We'll see. I think not. I think that's going to be just fine. I don't want a lot of bright color. Now, if you're having trouble getting the paint sticking, don't push it harder. Just add a little bit of thinner to it. I'm running out of color though. Oh wait, there's some. Try not to open the tube up again, but all right. Unfortunately, even though I eked out that little piece of color, I'm going to need it. I'm going to need more of it. So let's get some more. You know, I'll tell you what, let's see if we can use this. This is cad yellow light as well. This is a Grumbacher paint. This paint is some 25 years old, so I'm not even sure that it'll work, but we'll see. We'll see real quick. have a little key twister thing that I can use on it. We'll see how that, we can squeeze it out. We can squeeze it out. We can probably use it. Where's my little key turner thing? Oh, there it is. It's a handy little thing. It's just a little key. You stick your paint tube in there like this. And then you can just twist the paint. Unless you tear the end off the tube like that. It's hilarious. Okay. Alright, stay with me. I'll show you more things not to do. That's what happens. It's so old. Alright, let's see if we can actually get it to come out, though. Probably not. Oh, we might be able to get it to come out this end. Yeah. We're going to have to add thinner to that. For sure. Okay, that's okay, though. Paint still looks okay. Really. It's not coming out the bottom, though, so I don't know about that. We'll see. Here we go. Come on, baby. This was in a paint kit that I found sitting on the shelf from in a vintage market. So, yeah. It was worth $3. Okay. Let's see. Let's do this with a knife. So let's... Where's my little knife? Here it is. Usually it was a knife. Okay, let's clean that off. Okay, we're going to put some thinner on this paint. Just a little bit, a few drops. Kind of mix it here and see how it mixes. If it will mix. Oh yeah, it's doing fine. Okay. And then we're just going to come in here. Let's try it some more. A little more paint. There we go. We're just creating a few waves right there. That's all we're doing. A few little shallow spots. Now back here in the back, mix this color with a little bit of titanium white. I want this part to be kind of like the sun is coming across the waves. Like that. And then let's put a little bit more. A little bit more. Here and there. Okay, that's good. Alright. I'll do my paper towel. Guess I threw it away. Alright. Okay, let's saw something. Oh, I know. I want to paint this boat. That's something I want to use. I think I'll use this little guy. Ooh, I don't know. We'll see. That's awful soft. But this is a tiny boat, and it's way, way off in the distance. So let's just kind of... And then let's pick up some of this blue, maybe. Kind of... Alright, now where was we? Oh yeah. We wanted to top that off. And then it looks like I hate this with my hand. Alright, so we got a little mistake here. So we're just going to take this Q-tip and push this in toward the tip while we're turning it. It's going to leave a mark, for sure. Okay, but that's okay. We'll fix it. We'll fix it on the final touch. All right, let's put that little soft brush away. I'm gonna get out another Gamblin 1980 paint. This one's just Ivory Black. And maybe I'm gonna try out two different colors here. Maybe I think I got some Payne's gray on the board. I'm looking all over for it, and it's right there next to the one I was just touching. All right. The Payne's gray looks pretty black in the tube when it comes out of the tube, but it's actually kind of blue. So what I'm going to do over here on the side, I'm going to mix up a little bit of this ivory black and a little bit of titanium white, and I want to look at that. I think ivory black's pretty potent as far as this titanium white cutting into the color. All right, and then we're going to take some of this Payne's gray and the same thing, and I'm going to see which color I like the best. And if you look at these two, I'm going to leave them a little streaky so you can see. But this is the ivory black and white, and this is the Payne's gray and white. So you can see that that's a little bit more blue than this is. This is more of a neutral gray. So I'm actually going to mix the third color. I'm going to mix these two together and see how it looks. Just by scooping a little bit up and moving it over. And yeah, that looks okay. So how do I want to do it though? I think I'm going to use a flat or maybe an angle brush. We'll see. Okay, here's my angle brush. I'll just, since I see it first, that's what I'll use. All right, lay down their knife. This paint's relatively thick, but that's okay. I know what I'm looking at here, so I'm just going to kind of put that table thing in there. And we're going to move this gray, this Payne's gray color around this. Now, because it's a little bit blue, I have an unanticipated result in that since I put yellow on there first, that now the porthole covers are a little bit green tinted, which is, maybe that's okay. I don't know. We'll decide that when we get done. That's not so bad. We can actually use a little bit darker gray to make that internal thing there in a minute. Plus, I'm kind of dragging it into that blue to make that one a little bit more green. Okay, now I want to pick up some of this color and continue to darken this rest of this porthole. And then we're going to kind of wipe a lot of this out of the brush, and we're going to kind of add a shadow here. And a shadow, and a shadow. All right, and then we're going to put some of this flatter gray into this porthole core. All right, let me wipe the paint off of this, and I'm just going to pick up some black and square this all back up. There we go, like that. Yeah, you know, I think I'll just take this I'll edit this table out. And just kind of make something, this little shadowed shape in there like that. Okay, now let's put the port keys back in. And then I think we'll call it a day, and then we'll let it dry, and then tomorrow we'll knock out the rest of it, or however many days it takes for it to dry. I don't think it'll take longer. Most of these colors are pretty quick drying. One there, one there, one there, one there, no, one there. All right. So we're using a really small brush for this, but it's holding enough paint to do the job. Uh-oh, this one doesn't. This one's got enough paint on it that I can't see them all. Okay. All right. Now right up here, we got a big gaping hole in this roof, so we're just going to kind of color this in roughly. All right. And that's good. Okay, now I think we're going to let that go for now. And then we'll come back when this is dry and do the next part, which is, a lot of this is going to be the rope. So, hope you guys are enjoying this. Fast forward.